We'll continue with this sort of a slow workout to honor the fact that it's 100+ degrees out. And just walking in place. And sort of letting the body move. Shoulders and the hips. Hey, Vicky. And maybe moving a little bit faster. Warming up these big muscles and legs. And then moving the feet come to stillness, moving the arms a little bit, loosening the arms, kind of loosening the shoulders. And then swinging the arms. Maybe up and back. I'm going to bring them down, going into a little hinge. Letting the back arch a little bit. And the hands come toward the ceiling. And then bending the knees. Letting the hips go back. And pausing the next time the hands are toward the ceiling. And just reaching up with one hand and then the other. And lifting the opposite heel. Bending a little bit. We're just really feeling this stretch. All the way down the side of the body. And bringing the hands behind the body. Pulsing them back and up a little bit. Big move sideways. And crossing one arm over and then the other. Again, just sort of loosening up the hands, loosening up the fingers. Moving the head up and down. And then side to side. And then side to side like a pendulum. And then once again, but letting the body also take up some of the movement. So up and down, and just sort of arching the back a little bit when you look up and rounding the back a little when you look down. and then side to side. Just letting the side to side movement sort of begin in the legs, a little bit of a twist. All the way from the ankles up. And then like a pendulum, but moving the whole body sideways. So we're moving not just the neck, but all the rest of the spinal cord in the ways that it moves forward and backward, side to side, and twisting. And then looking a little bit up and opening and closing the mouth. And stretching out part of the neck, jaw. Right. And then the shoulders, back shoulder rolls with one arm and then the other. One shoulder and then the other. And forward. Right. And then moving the hips. Hip side to side. And then big circles. And letting your shoulders move as well. Direction and then the other. And then coming to stillness, bending your knees. And then moving your knees in circles. But let your feet move a lot. Feel the weight shifting from one edge of the foot to the other. A lot of movement in the ankles, go in the other direction. It's really important to just keep the ankles and the feet, the toes as much as possible. A little flexible. And coming upright, lifting one heel and pressing down into the toes. And then circling the foot in one direction and then the other. And you can really notice sort of the holistic nature of these movements. The hips are moving, the other leg is moving. And then the other foot, lifting the heel, pressing in. And then circling. One direction and then the other. Right. I'm gonna take up a couple of weights. And starting with sort of a curtsy or a side back lunge and a biceps curl. keep your stomach tight. Your chin pulled back a little bit. And go at whatever pace you want. You know, as hot as it is outside, I'm sort of moving slowly, and I'm not letting my hands come all the way down so that the muscles lengthen, soften up. So I'm keeping the biceps engaged. I'm going to turn my hands to face one another. Pull your stomach in. Okay. I'm coming to stillness. And still holding the weights. Doing some circling of the shoulders, one direction and then the other. Pull your belly in. And then bringing the shoulders up and down. And sort of tuck your tail under. So sometimes if we're holding weights when we're standing, we might arch our low back. But let's try not to do that. So just tuck your tail under a little bit, like you've got weights in your back pockets. Okay. One down, and with the weight in both hands, holding overhead. And then just bending and extending the elbows. The shoulders relaxed away from the ears as best you can. Your belly button pulled back. Don't exaggerate the arch in your low back. Okay. And bringing the weight down. Haven't done this one in a while with one weight. So taking a wide stance. And then bending one knee, bringing the weight down toward the inside of the foot. And coming up in a diagonal. And just stay on one side. Your stomach tight. Let your gaze sort of follow the weight. Unless that makes you dizzy. If it does, find stationary points along the trajectory and sort of look at those instead of watching something that's moving. And coming to center and changing sides. You're really noticing all the muscles involved, not only in moving the weight up and down, but just in balancing here. And coming back to center. And now getting two weights, I'm gonna use the lighter weights. We'll do flies. So with standing about hip width apart, a little bit of a hinge. So again, you're gonna bend your knees, let your hips come back. Keep your elbows bent. And then raising the weights to about shoulder height. Your gaze toward the floor so that your neck gets to stay neutral. Keep breathing, keep your stomach hold in, keep your jaw relaxed. Now bringing the weights up, your upper arms alongside the body. And again, straightening and bending the arms at the elbow. Coming up to standing, come up slowly, round up. Take a couple of breaths, let your balance and come back. Take a wide stance. I've got both of these weights by my chest. I'm gonna go down into a squat. Push up. And then punch out from side to side. Your stomach pulled in. Okay. Put the weights down. Loosen up the arms a little bit. Clasping the hands and then clasping the hands behind you. And pulsing a little bit. So we're just stretching out the front of the shoulders here, back. Okay, and then let's get a chair and we'll do some planks. Getting a something to put on the metal chair because we were doing foot massages before the class and my hands are kind of slippery. Okay, coming into a plank position. And just feeling this, you know, the shoulders and the arms engaged, the back, muscles of the legs, the gluteal muscles. Back up a little bit. Then lifting one leg out to the side, keep your foot flexed. Your neck neutral, so you're probably looking down toward the seat of the chair. And then going back, so same foot. Keep the foot flexed, but now just lifting the leg behind you. Trying not to lean into or away from this. So the muscles on the other leg are engaged just in the balancing. Some muscles are engaging to move and some muscles are engaging to not move. Change feet. Just lifting out to the side. One foot. Keep breathing, keep your mouth relaxed and your jaw. Back. Pull your stomach in. If you really pull back hard in the belly button, then make some of these gluteal muscles work a little bit harder because they're now working against some resistance. And coming to stillness. And then bringing a knee up toward the opposite wrist, elbow. And walking it in. And sort of moving around a little bit. Let the hips loosen up a little bit. Let the wrists loosen up. And coming back. And now we'll do T raises. So letting the feet and the shoulders move. Or twisting the whole body to the side. Lifting one arm up and the other side. Let's go from side to side like this, really stretching the hand toward the ceiling. Keep breathing. Sometimes we tend to hold our breath on the hard part of an exercise, but try to breathe out at that point. And once again on each side. And again, walk it in. Coming back up into this plank posture. Pull your stomach in. Engage your legs. Now bending one leg. And we'll just lift back to the side. Keeping the belly button really pulled back here. And change sides. And the foot flexed. And putting the foot down, going back into this plank posture, and then lifting one foot, the opposite hand, if you'd like. Hold this for a bit, and then the other side. I'm just going back and forth. And seeing if you can stretch the heel of your foot back. Your hand forward. Again on each side. And walking it in. And just again, sort of move the hips, your hands, your wrists. I'm just gonna sort of stretch my wrists a little bit. All right, get a drink of water if you want, and then we'll move a little bit faster here. Not real fast, but a little faster. Okay. I'm just coming back to these walking in place. And move up. And we're going to do seal jacks. Side lunge. Bring the hands out. Keep your stomach tight. Smiling. This is so much fun. We're gonna do high knees. A little bit pull down, so bring the knees up. Pull your hands down like you're moving them through water. Find your shoulders moving up. Just let them drop down a little bit. Belly button back. And now we're going to bring foot behind us. And twisting a little bit. I touch the foot with the opposite hand. And high knees. Bringing the hands together under the knees. Keep breathing. Keep smiling. The belly in. And now coming back to this curtsy lunge. And bringing the opposite hand maybe down toward the front foot. Or just a big twist in that general direction. And a back step. And bringing the leg up, stay on one side. And pull down with the hands. And change sides. Definitely right-footed. And coming back to seal jacks. And hinge and swim. Hips back. Arms back. Hips back, arms forward. Hips forward, arms back. And pulling back hard, again, as if you're doing this through water. So engaging these muscles more than they need to be. And back, hands up, and high knees, twisting the elbows, the opposite elbow toward the knee. Now, with these hands up here, let the knees be a little bit soft. And then just side to side. And trying to keep the back straight so that you're staying in the same plane as the body, not bending forward. Pull the belly in. And then let's take a seat. And moving the feet out and in. Sit towards the front of the chair. Lean back a little bit. Keep the tummy pulled back. Now continuing to lean back, picking up one foot and then straightening and bending the foot. Using your hands in the chair for support if you want. Change legs. Don't hold your breath. And now fast feet. Belly tight. All right. Whew, man. So coming to stillness. Looking up a little bit. Now arching that back a little and then rounding forward. Just in this couple of times. To help loosen the hips and all the little muscles around the pelvic girdle. Now just walk around a little bit, walk it off. And really let the hips move side to side. To imagine letting all of these muscles relax here. Drink of water if you want. Come back using the chair. Not coming into the plank. It's, sort of like the plank, but keep your feet flat, bend your knees. Let your hips come back. Drop your shoulders. And kind of pulse the legs. And then bend one knee and the other, straighten one leg and then the other. And just sort of dip the shoulder down. As you do this, you can just feel a really nice stretch in the low back. A lot of those little muscles and ligaments. And coming to stillness, extending one foot behind you, toe on the floor, and just sliding that behind the other foot and twisting a little bit. Look over or under your arm. Look at that foot and change sides. And we're getting a nice stretch in the hip. Okay, coming back. Just standing. Just rising through the toes a few times. Coming up to the toes and walking around a little bit. The calves are warmed up. Sometimes when my legs are cold, I can experience cramps. I do this, but not when my legs are warmed up like this. Okay. Coming back. And then using the chair again. This time, just letting the hips come forward. Letting the weight sort of come toward the toes, looking up. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. And then letting the hips come back. And just coming back to the chair. And pulsing the hands. Back behind you, bringing one arm in front. And just gently pushing on the elbow if you have your arm band, or you're pulling on the upper arm if your arm is straight. If your arm's straight, don't push on the elbow. Changing arms. And just really sort of breathing with this stretch. Maybe you can feel how your breath expands the chest from the inside, and it just gives a little gentle addition to the stretch of the muscles. Right. Arms down. Bringing the head up a little bit, and again, opening the mouth. Ah, maybe even making a sound. Ah, and then ooh. And when you make that ooh sound, really puckering the mouth. Ah. Okay, you should have felt that, just stretch the front of the neck and all those little muscles by the ears. Extending one leg in front of you and bending toward the foot. Moving the foot side to side. Back off a little bit, and then leaning forward again. Moving the foot. So try to keep the back pretty straight. Not trying to curl the back and touch your leg, just stretch the back of the leg. And change sides. You can start to feel the different parts of the muscles stretch out depending on where your foot is. Again, backing off a little bit and then moving forward again. And the stillness coming up. And one foot, the leg moving side to side. The stillness, flexing the foot and bending forward until you feel that stretch in the hip. And then taking breaths that you can feel the belly move. Feeling how that in-breath gives a little stretch to these muscles from the inside. Changing sides. Keeping the foot flexed. And back and forth. Into stillness and bending forward. Just until you can feel it, and then increase the stretch with your breath from the inside. Right. And bring both legs. Up the arms. Sending one arm in front, tips, fingertips toward the ceiling, and just pulling back on the fingers. Stretching in the forearms, and then fingertips down, pulling back on the hand. And then switching sides. Tips up. And fingertips down. Loosening up the arms. Putting your hands behind you on either side of the neck. Just using your fingertips to really press into these muscles. Pulling across the muscle fibers. Just give yourself a little neck massage. You can even put your elbows on your legs so that you can rest a little bit of the weight of the head here. Your neck doesn't have to work quite so hard. Going down into the shoulders. You can just pressing in here, pressing in and pulling up. So we're just pressing in and then moving the fingers across the fibers. So these muscles are long, so we're going the short way. And bringing your fingertips to your head. And just moving them in little circles. And you're just moving your scalp over your skull. All around the hairline, around your ears. And then using your thumbs to go right along the base of the skull. The same little circles. We'll move all of these little muscles right here at the top of the neck that connect the neck to the skull. Work hard all day. And continuing, just continuing this a little bit on the face and the temples. Along the jaw. And it's coming to stillness. Taking a couple of deep breaths, sort of sighing the breath out. Just feeling into the body, especially feeling your face and head, the neck, and those muscles that you just massaged, but also the interior of the body, warmth, heartbeat. In a sense of having shown up, having done these exercises and playing such an active role in your own health and well-being. Letting your attention rest in the middle of your chest or right in the middle of your belly, and feeling the gentle expanding and letting go. And taking a deep breath. Feeling that out breath. Okay, thank you.